Hello, good morning. Welcome to this taste challenge. We have Mr. R. He says, good morning. David Cassidy says, shot glass and hello. Hello to you. We have two rums, and it's not going to be it's going to be a taste challenge in a technical sense, but in a real sense, it ain't going to be a challenge. All right. So it's a Cruzan black strap. This is the Estate Diamond black strap rum. So the chances of mixing this up with any gold rum is nil. There is no chance. So this company is very old. It's one of the oldest rum companies in the world. It's been around since 1760. You heard me right, 1760. Started in the Danish Virgin Islands, which was purchased by the United States from Denmark in 1917. Now it's the United States Virgin Islands, and they're on St. Croix, and people that live on St. Croix are called Croisians. Croizan rum, get it? Croizan. But it has a new family that runs it. The people that run it now is the Nelthrop family. Nelthrop. Okay, and they've only been running it since 1820. They're the new family. They've only been running it since 1820. You know, the first 60 years it was some other people. Okay, it's a wood cap, neoprene rubber stopper. Now, I checked the price of Total Wine just now on their website, $19.99, $19.99 for a premium rum. That is cheap. But about 2 years ago, they had it for $8.99. I'm sorry, $8.49. I went over to Total Wine. I said, I got to check. There's something wrong with their website. I went over there. It said, there's no way it's $8.49. I went in there. I looked on the shelf. They had like 3 bottles. $8.49. I said, when it rings up, it's not going to be right, you know. Ding, ding, it rang up $8.49. Well, I didn't go over there and say, can I see the manager? I think something's wrong with the price. No, I was like, you want to make it this price? Okay, I'll buy it. Now, a week later, it was $19.99. So I don't know. It's got a little smudginess on it. Let me go wipe that off. Distilled and blended in St. Croix. Gary Nelthrop, master distiller. So it's still run by the Nelthrop, Gary Nelthrop. Now, Cruzan, they're like a lot of other big distillers because they're big, you know, they're not like little. It's not like a little craft distillery. They produce a lot of other people's rums, you know what I mean? They produce other brands. Like I have Ron Rico, which used to be made in Puerto Rico, but if you look at the modern bottles, the current bottles of Ron Rico, it says produced by Cruzan International. So there you go. But anyhow, heavy dark aroma, slight sweetness with notes of caramel, perfect in cocktails. Or like I'm gonna drink it neat, but you know it is made for cocktails. Okay, oak notes with complements of molasses, expertly aged on our home island of Saint Croix. I'd like to visit that place. Distilled, aged, and blended by Cruzan International. Okay. Then there's a whole like motivational story about the Cruzan family and so forth, art, and what they give charity to, some nature conservatory type thing. Okay, and then here's the competitor, Calypso. Don't know when this was introduced, and I went through every trademark for Calypso, and I could not find this. I found Calypso soft drinks, Calypso lemonade, Calypso Venetian blinds, Calypso faucets, Calypso mattress covers, and so on. I could not find Calypso rum, and I gave up. And I went through like 500 listings, just kept going through it for like 30 minutes. So I'm sorry, I cannot find when this hit the market. But I bet you it wasn't 1760. And there's Calypso, also known as Mrs. Captain Morgan, because Calypso of Greek mythology has nothing to do with this like Irish female pirate with a treasure chest. So I mean, the whole label is ridiculous. I've never seen it in Louisiana to my knowledge, but I bought this at Ralston Liquors in Houston, Texas, and you know how much I paid for this? $5.89. $5.89. Rum with natural flavors, produced in Kentucky by who else? The Sazerac Company. Oh well, you know, what do they not produce? Okay, we have attempted to bring the spirit of Calypso to life with premium gold. We believe you or me, consumer, will find it as alluring and seductive as its namesake. Yeah, well, you know, I don't read nonfiction, so I'm sure that's a very nice story. We had to read that in high school. I mean, it was okay. All those stories, you know, I read it because they made us read it. I didn't mind it, but I wasn't interested in it, but it was fine. And but I know Homer's uh epics had nothing to do with Captain Morgan, you know, or Admiral Nelson or Lady Bly. There he is, the greatest liquor beer reviewer in the world. It's so true, I know, but I can't help it, and I'm not going to brag, and I'll be the first to admit that. Um, David Cassidy says auto winner, 1760. Whoa, that's a good while. Yeah, I know, huh? It's older than the United States. A little water in the glass. Okay, so yeah, let's get this over with, and then we can move on to other mismatches. Because even the gold rums I have, they're not going to lose to Calypso. Cruzan, the regular gold, nah, it's not going to lose. Ron Rico gold, you say Ron Rico. I know, I understand you saying Ron Rico, but that's made by Cruzan these days. These days, it used to be made in Puerto Rico. You understand? No, I mean, Ron Rico was an old company that started in 1860, and I don't know, they got bought out, and they probably shut down the distillery 80 years ago, and just had somebody else make it for them in Puerto Rico, and then their parent company went out of business. Seagram's like went, so the new owners just say, "Oh, Cruzan, make that." They say, "Okay, we'll put it on the shelf." So I got that, and got a good deal on it, and I got oh yeah, it's gonna be terrible mismatches. Ron Rico, and then Bacardi Gold, and Bacardi Major Laser, and Castillo Gold. So that it Calypso will not win, which means I'm going to win because I'm going to guess it correctly. So I already got 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. And I'm about to make it 4-1-1. But that's fine because I didn't make Calypso. I did not conceive of the product. I don't produce it. I just bought it. And I'm not against it. It's not a winning product like it's going to win competitions, but on the other hand, it is $5.89, or it was last year. It was last year I bought it, $5.89. 16 months ago. I mean, was I expecting a lot? No, I was just hoping for a lot. In other words, I was hoping it didn't gag me, you know, like it wasn't going to be horrible. But I knew it was Sazerac who produced it, since it says Sazerac on the back of it. It gives you the website, kind of tips you off there that they make it. But they usually pretty good quality control. I mean, after all, they make Buffalo Trace. They make Eagle Rare, which people trying to track down every day of their life. They make Benchmark, not as high a grade of a bourbon, you know, a little bit lower grade bourbon, obviously. Zachariah Harris also, but most people, if you watch most, that's neoprene. That's not real cork. That's that rubberized stuff that it's kind of like rubber, but it's not made with rubber, you know, from a rubber tree, but it's synthetic rubber that's they use on the bottom of shoe soles. It's real spongy. and they use it in alcohol stoppers. And apparently it doesn't dry rot fast like cork. So some people say it's better than cork. You have to check with DuPont on that. All right. What was the price for the Cruzan? Maybe you already said it. I didn't hear it. Oh yeah. So the normal price is $19.99. Well, at Total Wine, they tend to be a little cheaper. But I paid $8.99. Sounds like a lie, but it's the truth. Now, obviously, I don't need tags at the bottom of the glasses because it's impossible that I would mix these up and get confused. One looks like coffee or black molasses, like Burr Rabbit molasses. And the other one is so pale. Oh, so very pale, barely gold. It's straw. I don't think they're adding any coloring. And the label does not say they're adding coloring. It just says natural flavors. Because Sazerac's usually pretty good about that. Like if they add coloring, they'll just say with coloring, caramel coloring added or whatever. You know, they'll just say it. They're not ashamed. But, that company makes so many products, 99 brands bananas and 99 brands whipped cream and 99 brands pineapple and, you know, all those 99 proof schnapps that'll get you wrecked if you're dumb enough to drink too much of it. And they make Miles Gin. I saw Miles Gin come into a store yesterday. Miles. It's real low shelf. But they're proud of it. Don't ask me. Look on the Sazerac website. They got a whole section for Miles Gin. And they talk about the, you know, the elaborate flavors of Miles Gin competes, you know, with the greatest of, you know, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, that's why it's $8.99 because it's the best. You know, it's got to be. Nice bottle though, glass. It's just funny, you know. And they make Taka gin, which actually, no joke about that. No, I did like the Miles gin though, and I like the Crystal Palace gin, but the those are really low grade. But they do have a heritage. But the Taka is the one that gets the real high scores. If you look at these alcohol review sites. That's like a known thing. They'll say Taka gin is way better than you would ever expect. And so it's like a hidden gem. Like because Taka vodka, everybody, it's kind of like an inside joke. Like everybody knows, like Taka vodka, that's the cheap vodka, man. That's what bums drink. But, and everybody that goes to a bar and orders a vodka martini also. If you go to the Superdome and watch the Saints game and you order a vodka martini, yeah, you're getting Taka. And no, you're not going to get a discount. You're going to pay through the roof. And yeah, but Taka gin apparently, you know, and I had to track that down, and somebody got me a bottle, and well, I mean, I had to buy it, but they found it for me, and it really was good considering what you were getting, you know. And but that's Sazerac. They're kind of a weird company, you know. They're kind of confusing. Then they make all these bourbons that nobody can get, like Pappy Van Winkle. They go on like 12 pages on their website. The great Pappy Van Winkle. We collaborate with the Pappy Van Winkle family, you know, the Van Winkle family, to make this extraordinary bourbon. But of course, no one can get it. We make sure that you can't actually buy it. We just talk about it on the website. Seems to be the case. Uh-oh. And okay, so that's the Cruzan, as evidenced by its obvious aroma. So I guessed it in 1 second. Okay, so I got it right, and it took me exactly 1 second to get it correct. Because like I told you before we started, there's zero chance on the planet in the history of the world that you would ever get this wrong. You say, could I fall into a bad habit or an addiction? Yes. Could I find myself injured in a serious accident? Yes. Could I live to be very old? Yes. Could I get married again and move to a foreign country? Yes. Could I ever get Cruzan blackstrap molasses mixed up with any gold rum? No. 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 Okay. So that is outside the realm of possibility. And now we've established that. Okay, comments, and then we're going to close it out. So the Cruzan, yeah, 899. Random history question. I have a hard time thinking of what Israel gives the USA as an ally. Do they provide us anything? They sure do. A lot of trouble and expense. So two things, trouble and expense. So there you go. Two good things. Well, not good things. I'm sorry. Two things, trouble and expense. Yeah. That's not what they say on television. Okay, going on. I'm on a budget. Might buy platinum 7 times vodka. Have you tried it? Yeah, in a little bottle. And secondly, I would say spend $1 more. And like you literally, says Tony, literally, you may only have to spend $1 more to get the platinum 10 times. So I would say you're probably going to come out better with the 10x vodka because it's a higher grade. And I think it's made by Sazerac. And it's only costs like $1 more. Even blindfolded, the taste will be an automatic dead giveaway. Yes, you're right, David Cassidy. Sazerac owns Patties. I just read the label's finer print last night, laughing out loud. Yeah, they bought Patties. They bought Patties from Irish distillers, but yet it's still made by Irish distillers. So in other words, they only bought the brand, the rights to the brand. I don't know why Irish distillers wanted to get rid of it or whatever. You know, I don't understand those kind of business things, but the trademark rights and the label and all is owned by Sazerac, but it's still produced by the same people. So I guess they're all getting something out of it. 1 second, it's a new record. It is really. Okay, so taste time. Cheers. So it tastes like pancake syrup. Could you put it on pancakes? I mean, I guess you could, but I wouldn't recommend that because it's gonna like not be like it's not gonna be like syrup. It's gonna be wet. It'll saturate the pancake, but it's not gonna be, you know, like the syrup. But it is if you've never had this before, just I'm telling you what it tastes like. So is it good to me? Well, yeah, I like pancake syrup, and ipso facto, I like this. Would I want to drink it all the time? No, I don't drink any rum all the time. On the other hand, so now if you get the Myers' rum, it's very dark too. You know, it's like black like this. Talking about the Myers' black rum, the plantation rum, in that kind of oxblood purplish label. You know the one is famous, been around for 100 some years. Close to 200 years. No, more like 150. Okay, but anyway, everybody knows about Myers'. Anybody knows about rum? Also bought by Sazerac. Oh, does it ever end? But see, that one doesn't taste like this because that one is so dry. Dry. It's dry, so it's no sweetness and it's a lot of wood, a lot of oak. So, but I like it, but it's a much different animal. And the Bacardi Black is like that. It's like oak and dry, and this one's sweet and syrup. So that's the way that goes. Cork Distillers, right? Cork, Ireland, Irish Distillers, Cork, Ireland. You're right. They make products you may have heard of, like Jameson. You might have heard of Jameson before. I think most people have. Calypso. All right. So it's much lighter than this, as you would imagine. It's a lot less sweet, as you would imagine. It's very dry, as you might imagine, because you don't know how they're going to be till you taste them. But it's very dry. Like you get light oak and light molasses. Now, what is the natural flavoring? I don't know. I was joking earlier in other videos that Sazerac must use 1 drop of vanilla extract for each barrel. They must take a vanilla extract and drop 1 drop in each barrel. Because I mean, it tastes like regular. I don't know. It doesn't taste like they add any flavoring to me. Sazerac is cornering the liquor market, Ron. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what Seagram's thought too, back in the 80s. Really in the 70s. We cornering the market. We taking over. And they were the biggest. I mean, in the 1970s, when you were watching Three's Company, the biggest liquor company in the world was Seagram's. No one disputed that. Everyone knew that. And you would have thought they're going to be around forever. The biggest, the biggest, the biggest. And their products were everywhere. But in 1985, they started showing some signs of trouble. They shut down their division called General Wine and Spirits. Just shut it down overnight and got rid of all the vice presidents. Why would they do that? No one knew. No one could understand. Just a reorganization, whatever. Then 4 years later, they sold like, I think it was 16 brands, might have been 15. It was like 15 or 16 brands all overnight. They sold them to Sazerac. Canadian Hunter, which they had made a big deal out of in 84, like it's the new Canadian whiskey. 5 years later, they're getting rid of it. They sold Eagle Rare to Sazerac that year. Eagle Rare bourbon, 10-year age. They sold, and including the Double Eagle, which is like 17-year age, but can't nobody get it. They sold Dr. McGillicuddy's Fireball. Well, you know, Fireball is one of the biggest products in the U.S. today. Whiskey products. They sold, Canadian Hunter, Fireball, Eagle Rare, Benchmark bourbon, still a big product today. Sold it. Number 5. They sold a doggone, what's the name of that product? Yukon Jack. I know it's Canadian whiskey liqueur, but it's still popular. I mean, you see it around. So, and like 10 others. And Sazerac gobbled them up for cash purchase. Cash. Why? Why would you do that? I'm thinking you must need money. Here comes 1994. 5 years later, they're selling 15 more brands to Jim Beam. So, I think they were starting to crumble, and they needed cash. And in the year 2000, they went out of business. Like, they sold everything to whoever wanted to buy it on an auction. And that's a true story. Diageo came along and bought Crown Royal. That was the big money product to buy. Pernod Ricard came along and bought Seagram's gin and Seagram's vodka, another big money product. So it's amazing how these companies could just fall apart that fast, you know. Like the Soviet Union, just here today, gone tomorrow. Who? Laughing out loud. Hi, Herbie. Okay, so the clear and present winner is the Cruzan Estate Diamond Blackstrap, but then obviously everybody knew that before the video started. But no knock against Sazerac's Calypso. I'd buy it again, you know, in a theoretical sense, but I got to do the silver. I got a whole series with silver. All right, y'all take care now. Have a nice Tuesday.